Welcome, all the mums out there and the mums to be. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is the Healthy Mums, Healthy Babies Presents webinar series every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We know that you guys are so super busy being moms, and so thank you for joining us. And we sort of had that in mind when we were designing this series, so we're guaranteed for it to be anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes depending on the topic. So I look forward tonight to sharing with you a very special topic that's close to my heart right now because I'm currently expecting my first little one, and it's How They Grow, 5 Things to Do to Encourage a Healthy Baby in Utero. So we'll be focusing on the health, but also on more specifically on the brain development tonight, and things that we can do to do everything we can to encourage that our baby's brain is stimulated and we're giving him all the nutrients that he or she needs to develop properly. So just really quickly, a little bit about me. So I'm the founder of PetiteFashionista.com, and just over the past 2 years, I've sort of developed a love for health and wellness, and that came because I sort of realized that when I wasn't feeling my best, it was hard to really look my best, right? Because if you don't have that glow, you don't have that energy, it doesn't really matter what, jeans you're wearing. So I transitioned, my worlds of fashion collided with health, and I became a Healthy Moms, Healthy Babies coach. And that really interested me to learn more about that. I wasn't currently pregnant at the time, but it was really perfect timing because I became pregnant a few months later. So now it's really my passion to help other moms really learn how they can feel their best and how they can promote a healthy lifestyle within their family and things they can do to encourage that they have really healthy, happy children. So tonight we'll be talking about 5 quick tips on how to really develop the brain of our babies in the womb. And the very first thing is why and how to read to your baby. So you've probably sort of read or seen different things or different studies about this before. So it's really simply, our children, our babies, they do recognize our voice when they're in the womb, especially in the 3rd trimester. And what the whole idea is that we want to read to them the same book over and over again, so maybe once a night or every other night, and they're actually going to remember the rhythms of our voice. They're not going to know the words or know what the story means, but they're going to really start to remember the rhythms of our voice and have associated with this book. So when he or she's born and we're reading this book, it's very comforting and soothing to them. But in the womb, they're sort of starting to really recognize the voice of the mom or the dad. So this is a really easy and sort of nice bonding thing that we can do for our babies. And it will come in handy afterwards when we're trying to calm a fussy baby. So the next tip, you've probably heard about this as well, but more specifically, we wanted to get into what you should be looking for. So the importance of taking an omega oil while you're pregnant, this is actually really important, and ideally you should be taking your omega about 6 months before you conceive, but whenever you start, that's great too. So taking the DHA actually helps to develop longer attention spans in our children. And up until the age of 2, their brain accumulates a large amount of DHA because their brain's really developing. So it's really important that we're taking it while we're pregnant and also while we're breastfeeding. And if we're not breastfeeding, maybe adding it to the formula. But actually, the longer attention span is a huge component of intelligence. And having that attention span to learn and to be stimulated and to absorb information really helps them in the long term. It also will raise their IQ. And there's studies that show, they're not quite proven yet, but there's studies that show an increased IQ by the age of 2 for babies who have taken DHA throughout the pregnancy and throughout their early years. Okay, so the brand that we actually recommend, Healthy Moms, Healthy Babies approved brand, is called Biomega by USANA. It's pharmaceutical grade, it's purified, and it's guaranteed to be mercury free. This is really important because right now, we can get omega through fish and that, but we're really concerned about the mercury levels. And the same thing with our supplements. If it's not a pharmaceutical grade product, it's very difficult to know for sure if it's mercury free because the standards aren't there. So you want to look for a product that's pharmaceutical grade and it's guaranteed to be mercury free. And this specifically is the product that we recommend, and it's available internationally. So wherever you're listening on this call, this can be available to you. We'll provide information at the end of the webinar. Okay, so next, a prenatal vitamin. This is probably one of the first things that we normally do when we find out that we're pregnant. And again, this is something that should ideally start about 6 months before conception. So anyone who's thinking of being pregnant, let's get you on a really good vitamin right now. So what we're actually looking for. So with the reason that you're taking a prenatal vitamin is because there's over 45 essential nutrients and antioxidants that we need to ensure that we have a healthy baby, and just also just to feel our best. So our food is generally lacking because the soil has changed, the air quality has changed. So we're not always getting the nutrients that we need even when we're eating really well. So we want to make sure we have something to fill in the gaps. So that's for, someone who is pregnant or someone who's not pregnant. We want to be taking a really good vitamin period, but especially when we're pregnant, because it's really, there's different minerals that actually are directly related to the brain development, including some B vitamins and folic acid, especially in the first month. So you want to look for a vitamin again with that pharmaceutical grade, because you want to be guaranteed that what's on the label is for sure in the bottle, and there's for sure that amount of folic acid in there, so that you can be rest assured that you are giving yourself and your baby everything that he or she needs to develop properly in every way. And also so you feel your best. Okay, so the Healthy Moms, Healthy Babies approved brand is called The Essentials. I've actually been taking this product for over 2 years, and it's really incredible in terms of my energy levels, in terms of my immune system. I just feel really great, and I actually chose this as my prenatal vitamin because there wasn't anything else that compared to it that was pharmaceutical grade product, and this provides me everything that I need for myself and also for my baby. It's the highest rated product by the Comparative Guide, which is the book there on the bottom right hand corner, the Comparative Guide to Nutritional Supplements. So it's been rated 5 out of 5 stars for every edition of the book. And this is a book that's, you can get it on Amazon.com or anywhere else. But this will provide you with everything that you need for yourself and for your baby. And you don't have to worry about there being anything extra in there. This is what I've taken. I've had an amazing pregnancy. No one hate me out there. I'm knocking on wood right now. Hopefully I'm not going to turn a corner soon, but I've really had really great energy levels. My baby's healthy, I'm healthy, and it's all good and happy. So make sure you do a little bit of research in terms of which prenatal vitamin that you're taking, and make sure that it's really of quality and that you can have a lot of confidence of what's on the labels for sure in the bottle. Okay, and then what we're going to talk about next is music. So the Mozart effect. So we've heard about the different Einstein babies and all the different things out there. Me being a first-time mom, I'm just a sponge right now. But I actually did a lot of research with this, and the Mozart effect is a proven method. So it's Mozart specifically, and that's the question that I had. Does it have to be Mozart? Can it be different classical music? Well, all sort of music has its benefits for us as moms who need to relax. But the interesting thing about Mozart is that the way that it's actually composed, the space between the I'm not a musician, but actually it's the way that it's composed. The string quartet offered a more sort of formula in terms of how it stimulates. So it's not like a chaotic sort of rhythm. It's very composed in terms of the space between all of the different rhythms. There's some really great information out there on this, but especially in the last trimester, our babies can really hear a lot, and they're really excited, and they're being stimulated all the time by the sounds around them. So the last trimester especially would be a great time to take some downtime for yourself and for the baby, and even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes a day, listen to some classical music, specifically Mozart, and this is going to help with their time, space, and spatial perception. So it actually helps with their brain development because it helps them to sort of to realize the what time is and the space between the music. Really interesting. It can't hurt listening to some Mozart. Doesn't mean that you have to listen to Mozart 24/7, but just, maybe, once or twice a week even, just take that special time for yourself and play some classical music. And maybe we'll get a love for it as well. And then the last thing I want to talk about is weight gain. So do we want to gain about 25 to 35 pounds? The great thing about pregnancy is that we can really enjoy food, but we want to enjoy good, healthy foods and really just think about this as being fuel for our babies, right? So I know myself, because I have been taking a really good vitamin, I've sort of beforehand, I trained my body to eat low glycemic, so foods that don't spike my blood sugar. I was actually craving very, very healthy foods throughout my pregnancy, and I still am. Lots of fruits and veggies and really good clean fuel for the baby. But we want to be gaining anywhere between 25 and 35 pounds. Too much weight can actually be risky for delivery and could potentially cause an injury to the brain, so we don't want to gain too much weight. And also not enough weight can actually, with lower birth weight babies, they can have a smaller brains and hence lower IQs. So we want to make sure that we're eating healthy, clean foods and that we're gaining the appropriate weight so that our baby can develop to his or her full potential. So just to sort of recap, I wanted to just really quickly go through the 5 things that we spoke about. Okay, so reading to our babies. So we want to pick a book that we can read as often as possible, and our partner can also read this to our bellies, and just the same story, quick story, and just so the baby can associate the rhythms in our voice and be comforted by that afterwards. The second thing is DHA for brain development. Very, very crucial. Make sure that we're getting our omegas during pregnancy, ideally before and also after while we're breastfeeding. We also want to take a good prenatal vitamin. Helps with lots of things with our baby, including improved sleep patterns afterwards. We want to make sure that we need all the nutrients that we can as well, because our body is doing an amazing task. And also, this is just for the brain development, for the overall development of our baby. Next is the music. So let's listen to a little bit of Mozart every once in a while. This will really help to develop the baby's brain as well and provide some really great relaxation for yourself. And then weight gain, let's make sure that we're eating really clean foods and that we're gaining anywhere between 25 and 35 pounds. So thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Our webinar series is growing, and we have some really great experts on board who are helping us come up with this information, including a prenatal dietitian. We have some naturopaths on board, some learning specialists, some really great women who are really helping us to identify what moms out there are looking to know. So if you'd like some more information on the products that we mentioned in this webinar, you can call 1-888-508-9022. And actually, the omegas and the vitamins that we were talking about, if you call this number, we can actually offer you a 20% discount than what you can find through retail. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and just a special thank you to our partners. So Healthy Girl, Work Smart Mompreneurs, Wee Hands, Grasshopper Prep School Prep Kits, Mummyo, Alicia Dunhams, who's the author of Goal Digger, a great book if you're looking to be an entrepreneur, and also an ebook called Blogging Your Way to the Top. Thank you guys all so much. And just really quickly, lastly, we have a package for all of you out there. For anyone who's pregnant or nursing, you can actually get our favorite multi, which is the Essentials by USANA, our fish-based omega, which is the Biomega, and also as an extra, this is a really great omega that I have in my fridge all the time. It's a liquid omega that I use as my salad dressing. But you can actually use this to put into bottles if you're using formula. I sort of touched on that earlier. So a few drops in the formula, this would be a great substitution for the DHA they may be lacking in the breast milk if you're not breastfeeding. It's also great as a salad dressing for us, and for any little ones that we have running around, this is great to add to their smoothies or to their oatmeal or yogurt. So these are 2 packages here that you can also ask about if you call this number 1-888-508-9022. tutu. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I wish you all a beautiful, healthy week. Thank you so much. Bye.